Now we're going to look at our last kind of graph, which is a box and whisker graph, but it's also called a box plot. Now, whenever you're given a box and whisker graph, the first thing you should do is go ahead and label its parts. So, label the parts of the box and whisker. Now, before we can label it, we need to know what the parts are. The first piece is called the minimum, or they may call it the lower extreme. That's the far left value on the whisker, which represents the lowest value in the set. So let's go ahead and label that. So this is going to be the minimum right there. The next part is called the maximum, or the upper extreme. So that one is going to be the far right value on the whisker, which represents the greatest value in the set. So this would be our maximum. Next, we're going to look at the quartiles. First quartile is going to be the left value on the box. So now we're looking at the dots on the box. It is also known as the lower quartile. So now if I label up at the top on the graph, I'm going to use a Q1 for quartile 1. The next part we have is the second quartile, which is the middle value, also known as the median. So the second quartile, which we'll use a Q2, is also the median value of the set of numbers. And the last part we're going to label is the third quartile. That's going to be the far right value on the box, also known as the upper quartile. So let's put a Q3 up at the top. Q3. Now after you watch this video, this is what your assignment is going to look like. You're going to be given a box and whisker graph with letters on it. You're going to need to go through and describe what each of the letters represents. So as it said before at the very beginning, the first thing you should do is label your box and whisker plot. Starting on the far left, I have my minimum, then I have my Q1, my Q2, and my Q3, and last I have my max. Quick and easy labeling. Going through the questions. Number 1, what would best describe label A on the box plot? So look for letter A, and I see it's labeled min. What would best describe label L on the box plot? So make sure you look for letter L, and that is labeled Q3. So third quartile. Question 3, what would best describe label H on the box plot? So letter H is labeled Q2, and remember quartile 2 is also considered the median of your data set. Question 4, what would best describe label M on the box plot? So label M is your max, your maximum value. And last question, number 5. What would best describe label E on the box plot? So label E says Q1 for the first quartile. Now, if you've watched through this whole video, this assignment should be pretty easy. Miss you all.